Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And yeah, it's the evening around 4:45 p.m. Excuse me. It's a day off, and I am doing a review for a movie. So this one is Juror number two, and I've been waiting to watch this movie ever since I saw the trailer a few months ago. It is directed by Clint Eastwood, none other than Clint Eastwood, and it's a legal thriller. However, I must say, even though I like this movie quite a lot, that the lack of a background score, a soundtrack, not a soundtrack, but you know what I mean, the background score missing, does take away from this movie quite a lot. It is by Warner Brothers, directed by Clint Eastwood, written by Jonathan Abrams. The movie stars Nicholas Hoult and Toni Collette, with supporting roles by J.K. Simmons, Chris Messina, Zoe Dush. I don't think I've seen her in anything else before. Cedric Yarborough and Kiefer Sutherland, right? And apparently Kiefer Sutherland kind of like asked Clint Eastwood, since he's a big fan, hope I can be in one of your movies, and he asked him to do this film. So it's basically Nicholas Hoult plays this recovering alcoholic and journalist named Justin Kemp, and he is called for jury duty in I believe it's Savannah, Georgia, and it's regarding the case of the death of a young lady named Kendall Carter. And what happened was, a year before, this young lady was in a bar and she had a fight with her kind of like thuggish boyfriend named James. And then they had a big scene, a lot of people were watching, people were taking video cameras, they were taking videos of her and him fighting. It was raining, it was pouring rain at the night, and she was found dead on the side of the bridge. So he was charged for her murder. It's been a year later. The district attorney is Faith Kilbrew, played by Toni Collette. So she is using this particular high-profile murder, death case, and it's also domestic violence sort of. So she's using it as as the final push for her promotion as the district attorney. And so she is on a mission to basically get a conviction. And there's a lot of witnesses. They say he was drunk. This guy James was drunk, disorderly. He was violent, and he followed after her when she stormed off. And basically, it's almost. And there's even a witness who says he saw a similar car to the one that James drives stop on the bridge, just below where she was found, so just above where she was found, and he puts him as the person who got out of the car. The coroner says it looks like her injuries are by a blunt instrument. So the case seems kind of open and shut. The prosecutor, the defense attorney, who is a friend of Faith, they have a talk between each other. He's not convinced that his client is the murderer, and so Justin is called for the jury and he's selected. And as he's sitting there, he realizes that he could possibly have been the one to actually kill Kendall, totally by accident. He didn't even know. So he was at that bar. So like I said, he was a recovering alcoholic. He went to the bar on a tough day and he ordered a drink, but he didn't drink it. He sat there, played with you get this token at it's Alcoholics Anonymous, and he was playing with it. He basically didn't drink, but he ordered it and then he walked off. So he kind of walked off just before Kendall and her boyfriend James came out of the bar. So he was sitting in his car, which is identical or very similar to James's car, and he drove on that road and he hit something. He thought it was a deer because he couldn't find the body. He didn't look all the way down to see that there was a dead body there. We aren't 100% sure, but it kind of looks like he actually did it. So the film kind of leaves that, as ambiguous. So he now thinks that he is the guilty party. So he does go and talk to his sponsor for Alcoholics Anonymous, Larry, played by Keith Kiefer Sutherland, sorry, and so he tells him that because you've had prior DUIs, if you go and tell them, there's a good chance they are going to believe that he wasn't drinking, that he wasn't sober. He definitely would be in prison even if it was an accident. And he also tells him that the jury must have a verdict. It cannot be a mistrial because then it will come back as many times as needed to finally get a proper verdict. So the defense attorney can bring it back on appeal as many times as he wants to. So the medical opinion notwithstanding, everything else, and there's a little ambiguity over there. So everything else kind of leads to this guy. One of the jurors, played by J.K. Simmons, his name is Harold. He's an ex-detective, and he goes ahead, does his own investigations, and in his investigations he finds that there were several cars that could have, that had accidents on that particular day in that particular area, and they would have been taken for repair. So he does his research and he gets the details. He wants to actually take that and go through it, but Justin's name is there. So he gives it to Justin, and then Justin makes a show of dropping it. The court bailiff basically sees this, takes it to the judge, and the judge releases Harold from the case, tells him you can go back home. I'm not going to take this against you because one, you were truthful when I said this, as well as you're an ex-cop. So he gets disqualified, and then it's up to Justin to try and convince the rest of the people that the guy is guilty. They do go to the bar. They go to the bridge where things were happening. There's a confrontation between Justin and excuse me, Justin and another juror as well. And so before he leaves the court, Harold happens to meet Faith, and he gives her the details. So now she does her own research reluctantly. She actually believes James is the killer, but she does go to take the research. She goes and checks all the vehicles, and she goes to Justin's house, but the car is registered in her name and not in his. So she goes there, she meets Ali, and then she says, my husband had taken out, he had hit a deer. But he didn't tell her that it was that particular road. He tells her it's a different place, so that she's got no reason to actually think about it, think that he could be it. But she doesn't know that, she doesn't see the pictures, so she doesn't actually know that this is Justin's wife. So she comes back, the case continues, and oh yeah, I forgot about it. The head juror, because Harold left, goes to Denise Aldworth, who is played by Leslie Bibb, another actress who I've seen quite a few things of. So the judge asked them if they have a conviction. So finally, it's a unanimous decision that James is basically found guilty. So he's going to be sentenced to I think it's a long prison. It's, I think, for life or something like that. And the jury is dismissed. They all go off. However, at the conviction, she meets with. Just during the conviction, she actually checks. She sees Justin sitting there, and she checks and realizes that he is Ali's husband. So she gets very suspicious, and then she goes out of the courtroom. She sees him sitting there. They have a talk, and she argues that it could be that an innocent man is getting convicted, although he's got prior crimes. It's no longer an accident. Justin tries to vaguely tell her that it is basically an accident, and that he didn't even know that it was a girl over there. He had no clue this was all happening until he actually got to the jury box, the jury area, right? And he says that if you push this for a retrial, she definitely could lose her. She gets promoted to become the DA, by the way, and he says you could actually lose your position as the district attorney, and that a good man basically him, would see his life and his family also destroyed. He also finally has to confess to his wife about what had happened. So we see the movie about to end. Ali has the baby. They are both happy. They're sitting with the cute. Faith is basically now the DA. However, she has a moment of doubt, and she goes to Justin's house. See, they open the door, and that's where the movie ends. So it's up to us to decide whether she actually does push him and then gets him convicted and James free, or they just have a discussion and nothing else happens. You can create your own conclusions, by the way. This is definitely one of the best movies of the year, possibly in the last few years. My only complaint would be that they could have done a little bit with the sound. There should have been a score, there should have been something in the background. I don't know why this movie wasn't pushed onwards. I love the performances of Toni Collette and Nicholas Hoult, basically everybody. J.K. Simmons, Zoe Dutch, Chris Messina, who plays the public defender, who's representing James, Kiefer Sutherland in a small role, but still, of course, you'll always notice it's him, and even Leslie Bibb. So I really like the judge. I don't know if I've seen her in anything. I've checked her IMDb page, but I'm not sure if I've actually seen her. She just looks very familiar. Judge Thelma is played by Amy Aquino. I'm not really sure, but yeah. So overall, really good performance. It's a wonderful story. There's just a few things maybe they could have done to, push this movie a little up better than it was. But I will give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really like the acting in this movie. Thank you.